Okay, good morning. So I had intended to do monthly updates, and this is the September update, but it isn't really because I'm going to turn it into the quarter update because it is October 18th. And I don't really know what happened there, but well, it just happened. So I think Serenity and I did really well this last half of the quarter. So we're about a week and a half into the second quarter of the year. If you had asked me last year about this, I would have said there is no way. We struggle. We still struggle, but we've added some few very important lessons that I've learned and some few very important extras that have really taken the weight off because I went back to work more than I had been working before. So I was already full time and now I'm like full time plus. And we're very busy. So let's start with the extras. So 2 hours a week, so 2 days, 1 hour each. She sits with our neighbor, who's a lovely woman who also is a retired teacher, and they read. I don't know if they read out loud. I don't know if they read to themselves. I don't know if she picks reading. I don't know anything. I just said to her, please help us. She will not read out loud to me. I have no idea what her level is. I'm just going to give you this piece. And they've run with it. And I can tell that she's doing well because she's starting to read instructions. So before she wouldn't even read instructions on a lesson. She's very intimidated by words in general, and now I can tell she's willing to read a little bit more. So that is a success. So that's 2 hours a week, 1 hour each time. The second extra is a math tutor. This is a sweet fifth grade teacher. From one of our local schools. She does 2 1 hour sessions with Serenity a week. And I think she's worth her weight in gold. When you look back on math for us, we came out of third grade not being able to do single digit multiplication and struggling with multi-digit addition and subtraction. And since last year to now, she has done multi-digit multiplication. Now, granted, it's in the area model, and I'm not sure how that transitions going forward, but I'm not going to worry about it. She can do long division. Regular division, long division. She can do decimals. She can add and subtract decimals. She's starting to multiply and divide decimals. We haven't touched fractions yet. I don't care. It's gone so much better than I thought it would. And we don't have a curriculum. We just print out paper. She knows, hey, she needs to learn this. That's how I'm going to teach it to her. Use a lot of teacher pay teacher. Use a lot of just printouts of like, here's some samples. We use graph paper for her to write on, and we just do problems. And that has gone really, really well. Now, I have no idea. We're probably missing like area and volume and measure and all of that. And it's just going to have to, like right now, we're just concentrating on the 4 operations and being able to do that from single digit, multiple digit decimals and fractions. And we haven't started fractions. So we still have the rest of the year to do that. I'm super happy with Mrs. E. She's amazing. Please don't quit if you're watching this. Then the third extra is farm school, which is on Thursdays for about half a day. That's where she goes to a living active farm. There's a curriculum. It's sort of like an ecology, biology sort of curriculum. And they do chores and they have socialization and they write in their nature journal and they, once a year they like process chickens and all that. And so she's gone to that 3 or 4 times. We've had some scheduling conflicts, but hopefully that'll really settle in over the next month or 2 and she'll be able to go every Thursday to that. I say those are the 3 amazing extras that I can think of right now. So if I were to summarize quarter 1, what I would say is we hit it out of the park with language arts, and math is a close second. Let's start with math because I've already told you kind of what we do with math with Mrs. E. And I am doing Kitten Math with her. And Kitten Math is a notebook. You can purchase it on Amazon, and it like walks you through fostering a cat And there's things like setting up a feeding schedule, so that sort of works with time. And there's like buying stuff for them, so she has to add decimals, ratios. So there's just like a lot, like estimating, half off certain things. So it's really relevant. It says it's for 8 to 12, so she's about to turn 11. So I feel really good about this. And there's a second one, so we'll probably finish this one before the end of this quarter, and then maybe in the spring we'll do the second one, and that's sort of my contribution to math. I also bought a fractions pizza game from Learning Resources, and well, it's gone over like a ton of bricks, so I don't know if that's gonna pick up or not. I mean, hopefully she likes it, and if she doesn't, I'll just donate it to Mrs. E's class. So math is fantastic. Say hi to Ziva. All right, so let me go to science. So let me do history and science, which have not been hitting out of the park. We listened to probably 5 or 6 chapters in Curiosity Chronicles. The goal is to get through 18 in a semester. We'll see. We do Sassafras Science for science, and this is botany. And we have listened to 14 of the 17 chapters, but we have not. So then there's like, with each of those curriculum, in addition to listening, there's like stuff you have to do. I know. I always seem shocked by that, right? So we are on chapter 8 in science for the notebook, and we're on chapter 14 of the book, which is totally fine with me because this has like a very nice description of the chapter, summary of the chapter, whatever you want to say before each section. So I'm probably going to, on the next long car ride, we finish the book, which is kind of what we do audiobooks. We don't read these out loud because they're very thick and very tedious to read. And so we'll finish this, and then we'll work on this intermittently. And then once we finish Sassafras Science, I think we will listen to Curiosity Chronicles, and then at some point try to do the activities for Curiosity Chronicles. I still have the goal of getting through both of those books before the second quarter ends. Ugh. That might be lofty. I don't know. I know we'll finish reading them because we have a few long car rides coming up. So I know we'll finish listening to the information. Whether we'll get through the worksheets, I don't know. But I'm going to move on. So in the first quarter of the year for language arts, we were doing Hearth Story. That was just a complete guess on my part. I just had watched some videos and I was like, it's not that expensive. Let me just see it. And it has really worked out. So we did Over the Moon novel. We're almost done with Gregor the Overlander. I would say we'll be done with this pretty soon. There are 4 books and 4 short stories, so we've done almost 2 books and 1 short story, so we're right on task for that. Again, we do not read these or like out loud, meaning we listen to them on audiobooks, so her reading is done with someone else because we're just not there yet with her reading out loud to me or us reading out loud together. So we listen to these on audiobooks. She answers the novel questions, and it's wonderful. We're on track to finish this, and we're on track with the novel studies and the short story studies. Poetry, there's probably maybe 1 per week planned, and so we do maybe 1 per week, and sometimes we do more, and I haven't done that in a week or so I probably need to pick that up. The other place where I probably need to concentrate is writing. So I don't force her into a journal, which Hearth Story suggests you do journaling most every day, and that's not in our schedule. So I'll just tell you that we don't do that. And then we don't do brain food at all because it was like a whole bunch of logical fallacies that were just very complicated, and we just chose not to do that. Maybe we'll pick it up later in the year in its whole section. And then writing, we've done 1 paragraph, and we're working on our second. And so we went back to 4th grade writing. We did not do 5th grade writing because we had not concentrated on writing for a few years, in the sense of I didn't do it in her 4th grade year. So I like the writing curriculum though. I like the way it lays it out. So probably in the next quarter, I'm going to really push into, because we're really on stride with everything else, make sure that we get halfway through poetry, make sure we get through the science and the history, and then really kind of catch up and do several big writing assignments. The rest is just like knock little things out, right? Like it's like we do 180 days of spelling every day. We do fix it grammar every day. She does this really quickly. She's really used to this, and it's fine. We do the grammar from Hearth Story every day. We do spelling. Now, I don't do spelling tests. She does not like them. And I know you might say, well, she doesn't like them. She still do them. I'm not picking that fight. She's doing so well, and she knows what the words mean, and she writes them at least 5 times, and then we move on. There's like so much spelling in this, and I think when we go to the 6th grade, it goes to vocabulary, thank goodness, because I just don't think spelling is something we're going to concentrate on. We're going to let it go in the past, and she can spell check for the rest of her life, which I suspect these kids will do anyway. They're terrible spellers, by the way. I'm in the education field, and I work with college-age kids, and they're terrible spellers. A whole generation of them, so I'm not going to feel guilty about that. Not all of them. I shouldn't be like that. But for the most part, they're terrible spellers, and they do their jobs just fine. They can spell check. And then, of course, I think that's everything. So every day we do grammar, 2 grammars. We do a spelling. We do a vocabulary. We do once a week poetry. And what we need to really work on is we're doing great in our reading and novel studies. And we need to push in on writing and making sure we get through half of the poetry. And then really have to concentrate on science and history. Now, I have tried loop schedules. I've tried a scheduling ahead. I've tried all different ways of documentation. Now, where we live in Virginia, you just have to show progress. So I have to give a notice of intent every year that they have to accept, and I live on the list of classes that I'm going to teach. And then I either have to give her a test at the end of the year, like the California Achievement Test, or I can have an individual evaluator look through what she's done and sort of say she's making progress, because right now what they care about is that she's making progress. So I reverse schedule. I have tried all the things, the loop scheduling, all of that, and I think they're amazing. And literally, I have 1 child, and I have 5 things, and like most of it we do every day. I'm not doing great on getting the extras in, the science and the social studies, but we will. Like one day when we go on a car ride and it's 3 hours, we'll catch up, on whatever novel we're on or whatever, and I'm just not going to worry about it. And I don't forward schedule. So we get through what we get through, and some days it's not much. And I don't even document anymore. Like last year, I painstakingly documented what we did on every subject at the days, and then I decided, did we do enough to count it as a school day? And so we essentially do 4 school days a week, and I count Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She has the math and reading on different days, but those don't get counted as school days. But I know I kind of push them into the 4 days, and then I just write the number. We're at 50, and that's where we are. So I guess you would consider me a minimalist in that documentation. Now, it depends on the state. I think some states are more. And I keep everything. I have all of the work she's done because I only have 1 child, so that's easy for me to do. And we do kind of a portfolio thing, and then I'm going to keep it because I have the space, and it makes me feel better to have it all in case someone ever comes back and asks me. I'm feeling really good about this year. This is extremely more than I decided to say. We're coming into basketball season for my son, so we'll be traveling a lot on the weekends. So sometimes school goes to a muck. We're gonna hit into holidays really fast. But as a bonus, I have Thanksgiving week off, so I know I can get 5 school days, 6 school days in that week. So I know we'll have a big catch-up period. I'm hoping to stop. I was hoping to get at least. I'm gonna stop. Probably close to when public school gets out for my son, and then take a couple of weeks off. We'll still read, but if we have a novel we're still catching up on, we'll still do that, and we may Still be doing science and social studies. Oh, and I forgot. The other thing I forgot is our state studies. And, but, you know, that's, we're just plugging through. And we're doing, you know, we're doing state study, and we have this, and she's doing states and capitals. And we're halfway through states and capitals. And Lord, would I love to finish states and capitals this year, but I'm just not going to worry about it. We're just going to keep doing 1 or 2 a week until we hopefully finish at some point. That'll be a huge finish because we've been working on that since last year. So if we can get through that this year, that'll be a huge finish. We'll finish. We started fixing grammar halfway through the year last year, and we'll pick. I mean, I just put it in Amazon order. I ordered the next 2 novels for the Hearth Story. I ordered the next Fix It Grammar. I ordered Editor-in-Chief because I'm perplexed by that, and it's not that expensive, and I'd like to see it. And I ordered Test Prep 5. So I'm thinking about adding that in the spring. We'll push through, like we'll be through some of the Hearth Story stuff by the spring. Some of the grammar and poetry we'll probably finish, and that might be what I do over Thanksgiving, is just do all the poetry. Let me think about that. And then we'll have a little extra time that we can add Editor-in-Chief or do something a little bit different at that period. Finish states. So that's like the lofty goal. We're through quarter 1. I feel good about where we are. Feeling tired. She's feeling tired. We're hitting that place, but we're just going to keep pushing through. All right, that's it.